Hello YouTube, and welcome back to the Loose Transistor channel. I'm your host Lucas, and we're back after about 2 weeks there. I know I haven't put out any videos, so I'm really sorry guys, but I figured we'll do a little vlog here. I'll catch you guys up with what's going on, some of the stuff that I'm working on, and we'll go from there. So yeah, let's get started. So first thing that I should probably talk about is Betaflight 3.3 RC1 is finally out. Seems like they finally settled down on which kind of filtering they're going to be using. So it looks like it's going to be the biquad plus FIR2. So I haven't really worked very much with that one there, but it is basically the common filter. It is an optimized version of the common filter that essentially uses less cycles, if you want to think of it that way. No, it's not the common filter, but essentially that's what it is. They've also made some improvements as to how you work with the filter in terms of tuning, and instead of having to play around with Q and R values, you can literally just set the cutoff frequency that you want and it will remove that, it will filter that out. So what they're basically recommending you do is you use the black box to figure out where your noise level is at, and then you set your PT1 and FIR to filter to that frequency, and it's good to go. So I will do a video for you guys on how to set up a Betaflight 3.3 RC1 and all that good stuff, because I have a build that I'm trying to work on right now. But that leads me into my first piece of bad news. I am not going to be doing build videos on the channel anymore. I don't really think that there's that much value in doing them right now, because the tech hasn't really changed that much. It's still pretty much wiring them, and I don't have access to all of the different types of gear that is out there. And also the reality of it is that it just takes too much time. Doing a build, if I just build it, it takes me 3 hours and it's done. But if I have to shoot it and edit it and all this other stuff, it stretches into weeks. And the way things are right now, I just simply don't have time for that. So I'm really sorry guys, I hope you can forgive me, but no more build videos for the foreseeable future. Now I'll still be talking about the builds, and I'll give you guys like my reviews of them and everything else. I'm still working on the Hive build, and I'm still working on the Featherlight build. So as soon as I have those up and I have gotten some flights down, I'll show that to you guys for sure, and we'll go over the main features and everything else and my impressions of the build. I'm just not going to do the step-by-step thing because that's just too much. So what else? Yeah, been working a little bit more on my Fusion 360 skills, and I designed a new pod for my Mia fleet, this guy right here, which is an evolution from this guy right here. So this is an HS1177 pod that I showed you guys before, and it's much heavier and bigger. And now that I have this new pod here for the Micro Swift, the weight has dropped considerably. It looks pretty nice, and I decided to just leave it at a 45-degree angle locked up, and that way it doesn't move around or anything like that. And as you can see, you can fit a VTX 03 or a similar size VTX just in behind there, no problem, or you can fit it beneath the plate. There's a lot of options there. So yeah, I'm actually really happy with this pod. I haven't yet flown it. Oh, and it also allows you to put a HD cam right back here. See how there's a strap loop, so you could possibly put it there. Not with this antenna setup here, I have a different one. But anyway, I'm really happy with how this turned out. I'm going to be testing it in the next few weeks, see how it holds up, and this is probably going to be my racers for next season. And the design is available on Thingiverse, so if you still have some Mia frames out there and you want to try this out, you can download it and print it out yourself, just TPU, no problem. And you can also have it fit the Micro Swift. Just be aware that it's 45 degrees and I don't have another version of it right now. What else we got? Oh yeah, there's a couple of things that arrived that I wanted to show you guys that I'm going to be testing, and hopefully give you guys my impressions of it as well. So I'm just going to switch the camera around real quick here so we can look at it together. So the first thing that I wanted to show you guys here is the race wire. So you probably heard about it on the FPV show if you follow the FPV show, or you might have seen it on the FPV chat or other places like that, but this is it right here. This is the race wire. It was sent to me by White Noise to test it out, and the whole point of the race wire is to serve as a bridge between your motors and your 4-in-1 ESC. So when you're racing and stuff like that, one of the biggest pain in the ass of having 4-in-1 ESC is the fact that when something goes wrong, you have to pretty much remove your stock to get to it and replace the motors. It's a huge pain in the ass. This kind of just makes that go away, because you can solder it just like as if it was an ESC, so you can very quickly remove and change your motors. Like for example, let me just grab a quick 4-in-1. So as you can see, for example, here on this 4-in-1, my wires go all the way from the motor all the way into the stack right in there, and it would be a really big pain in the ass to have to replace that. With the race wire, here, let's just break one off real quick here. So here's the race wire, and it basically just is 3 leads that are running across the whole thing right there and end to end. And you just put that right there, on your arm in between the motor and the stack, and you just solder the wires there and solder the wires there, and presto, there you go. You have yourself a quick little bridge that you can now very easily swap your motors in case of a crash or anything like that. And they're somewhat lower profile, so they kind of look nice. You can put an LED on top of them, all sorts of different stuff. So yeah, props to White Noise for designing these guys right here. I'm actually very excited to try them out. I'm glad he sent me a bunch of them, because I have quite a few 4-in-1 rigs that I would love to put this race wire on and make my life a lot easier in case of repairs. He also sent me 2 of these, I don't know what they're called really, breakout boards, or just a little 30x30 mounting for, this one here fits the D4R or X4R receiver, as well as the TBS Unify Pro. So that allows you to like basically solder them all to this board right here. You can run some pins or wires to your FC, and then this just mounts right on top of your FC, which is just super clean. This one right here is for the same sort of receivers, XM Plus, X4R, and D4R, and it also fits the TBS Unify Pro V2, so the smaller version of the TBS Unify. So yeah, White Noise is putting out these very, very interesting little parts here. They're not expensive, nothing like that. They're just kind of like something that makes the quality of life of your gear better, because it's easier for you to maintain it. So be on the lookout for White Noise FPV and his race wire and his breakout boards for the Unify family of VTXs, because that stuff is pretty cool. And that brings me to the next thing that I wanted to show you guys. I managed to get my hands on one of these. A buddy of mine, Jay Ubrig, Uber J, he hooked me up with finding some of these baby hawks, because apparently they're really, really, really hard to find. But he managed to get one, I think, I don't know when, or I think he maybe got into one of the pre-orders or whatever, but here it is. I have the receiver here. I haven't even touched it, so I still have to install the receiver. But here's the little guy. It's super tiny. It's super cute. So it's a 2-inch quad, comes with the little Avan props here, the little Avan 2-inch props. I heard some really, really good things about this little guy, and it would be interesting to have this just to fly indoors, or maybe in a garage or something like that when you don't have a lot of space. And in case the Canadian government decides to really crack down on all their rules and all that, this will be way under the weight limit. So guys, again, I'm really sorry that I'm not going to be bringing you any more of the build and reviews that I've been doing on the channel so far, but I am going to be bringing you the reviews of all the gear that I'm building. So you can look out for the HIF 7-inch. You can look out for the HIF 7-inch that I'm building. It's going to be coming pretty soon. I was just actually taking care of the carbon, and be on the lookout for some reviews on the Baby Hawk and on Betaflight 3.3 RC1, or whatever RC it is at when I actually get to sit down and make a video for you guys. But I'll walk you through the whole process, flashing the board, setting it up, doing all this good stuff, just like I've done all the other times. And hopefully it'll help some of you guys out there that are looking to get into 3.3. So guys, as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.